One of our favorite kinesiologists on the show, Angela Hardy, showed us how to make our own water kefir.
Well, what a discovery for me. A friend of mine went to Australia and she came back and she said, "Ange, have I got something for you?" And she introduced me to water kefir, and ever since then I've been hot to trot with water kefir. I make it just about every second day. I drink it every single day. It's amazing for reintroducing probiotics into the gut, and it's a doddle to make. It's so easy and it's absolutely delicious. So let me show you how to go ahead and make it. It's really simple as can be. This is something that I made last night, and basically what it looks like while it's busy brewing is this. And if you have a look, I don't know if you can see the little bubbles that start coming up. So it's really a live organism that's busy brewing up in a little mixture of sugar water. It's a combination of yeast and probiotics, and they make these beautiful little, well, they sometimes call them crystals or grains of kefir. So let me show you how to go about making kefir. It's really very simple. The first thing you're going to need is a glass jar. This is a 3-litre jar, but you can make a litre, 2 litres, 3 litres. It's completely up to you. I've got some filtered water. It's really important to make use of filtered water when you're working with kefir because you don't want chlorine in the water. They don't like the chlorine, the little babies. So make sure you've got a filtered water, but not reverse osmosis, which has absolutely no nutrients or minerals in it. You want a few minerals in your water. So just filter it out the tap, or bottled water is fine. This has been boiled only because I need something hot to melt the sugar in. For 1 litre of kefir, we're going to use 1/4 cup of sugar. So that's half of that. And I'm just going to give it a little shake to melt the sugar. Okay, sugar's melted. Again, filtered water. Fill it up. We're making just 1 litre, so we need 2 tablespoons of the kefir babies, and we don't want it to be too hot when we put the babies in because they're live organisms, so you need to be a little bit careful. This is 4 tablespoons in here because I normally make a 4-litre batch, so I'm going to use just half of that. Sometimes we put a little bit of support in for the little grains. I like to use raisins, just a couple of raisins into the mix, and that'll help to give it extra minerals and nutrients to help really support the kefir, to help it grow and flourish. Sometimes I use dates. You can use a little pinch of Himalayan sea salt. It's completely up to you. So that's it, as easy as that. The traditional way is to cover with a cloth, the little elastic band, but I'm happy to put a lid on as long as you don't tighten it too tight. You need a little bit of space for the air to come up, but also to keep it covered and clean so nothing else is getting into your kefir. In winter, I leave mine for about 48 hours because it's a little bit colder in the environment. It takes a little bit longer to brew. In summer, 24 hours, if it's nice and warm, is plenty. And how do you know when it's brewed? Well, you're going to start getting a slight fermented scent and flavor out of the kefir and a very low level of sugar. So it's mildly sweet and slightly fermented to the flavor. If it smells off or it smells bad, it is bad. Chuck it out and start again. So once you've brewed for your required period and it's smelling and tasting just right, you're going to pour off the water into a jug, make use of the grains again for your next brew, take out the raisins and chuck them in the bin. So this one we're going to set aside, and I'm going to show you how to do some second ferment or flavoring of your water kefir. This is the water that we've poured off the grains and what we're going to make use of then for our drinking. It's full of probiotics, and this is the way that we then introducing the probiotics into our gut. So we start with that. I freshly squeezed a couple of apples and a big knob of ginger. This is my favorite. The ginger is rich and strong and sharp and tangy, and I like to make it really strong. So I'm just going to pop that in there, and we're ready to go. So if you want to do a second ferment where you get carbonation and bubbles and this really zesty texture on your mouth, you're going to need one of these bottles with a nice solid sealing lid, like an old Grolsch bottle. These bottles I just picked up at the shop down the road from me. Easy enough to find. So for the ginger beer, I put a couple of raisins into the bottle. Oops. Pour in my mix. Don't fill it up all the way because this is going to start doing a second brew with all the probiotics that are currently in this liquid. And because I've added additional apple juice and it's very sweet again, it's going to really make use of those sugars and brew up. So we leave a little bit of space so that that air can come up into the bottle and not pop the lid off and send bottle everywhere. seal it, leave it on the counter for 24 to 48 hours, burp it every day, pop it into the fridge, even while it's in the fridge, burp it every day, and drink after the first 24 hours. So this is another one of my favorites. It's really simple. Just peel an orange, put the peel in, not the zest, the peel. Otherwise it's a little bit bitter if you use the zest. Squeeze that orange into the jar, and within a couple of hours you're ready to drink. It's really fantastic for you and it tastes delicious. I suggest you try it at home.
I'm feeling better.